Kickoff meeting is one of the most important meetings you can have in the whole project. And most people either rush it or skip it entirely. Now, here's the problem with that: the kickoff meeting sets the tone for everything that happens afterwards. If you run a good kickoff meeting, people will leave the meeting with clarity. They will leave the meeting with a sense of we're all in this together and we all know what we're aiming for, what we're trying to achieve. If you do not have that kickoff meeting, you may end up spending the next 3 months untangling confusion that a single meeting could have prevented. Hi, my name is Ola, and I've spent over 15 years in the project management industry. I've felt the pain of not having a kickoff meeting, and I've also felt the numerous joys of when a kickoff meeting goes well and it does the job it's supposed to do. So now I'm going to run you through the main 6 steps you need to follow when you're going to run a kickoff meeting. Number 4 can sometimes be boring, but it's so critical. So stay with me. Let's do this. The first thing you want to make sure your kickoff meeting is very clear on is the why. What is the objective? What are we trying to achieve with this project? If people don't know the why, they don't know the objective. Sometimes you may, along the line, as the project progresses, somebody will have a brilliant idea that is solving the wrong problem. So it's really important that the objective is clear. Next, you want to understand the scope. What is in and what is out, right? Now, just bear in mind that all of these activities, everything we're talking about now, they're things you would have spoken to team members probably in isolation or as a team. The idea of the kickoff meeting is to now bring all the stakeholders together in one room at the same time to look at what you have collated as a single piece, as a single document at a single point in time, to look at everything that has been collated and review it together as a collective, right? So, number 2 is what is in and what is out. That is the scope definition. Be clear, put it in your documentation, put it in your slides, and let people sit on it for a minute to make sure that what you have discovered is actually what is in, and what you've discovered is out is actually what is out. Note this: if somebody disagrees with you in your kickoff meeting, it's not the end of the world. That's why you're having it. There will be some things you would take away and work on later, but that's the whole point of the conversation. Next, you want to decide who is who, what roles are there, who is the sponsor, what are the roles, what are the responsibilities. You can have a job title, but the job title might not be the role that you are occupying in this particular project. So it's really important that you are clear on what the roles are and the responsibility that role carries, not just the job title. Next, you want to think about how will we work together? What's going to be our ways of working? What meetings are we going to have? What's the frequency of the meetings? Who needs to be in the room before a decision can be ratified and agreed that it has been made? How are we going to receive updates? Are updates going to come purely by email? Are we going to meet only once a week? Are we going to meet once a month? How are we having daily stand-ups? It needs to be clear. If you've decided to have a steering group, a project board, then who needs to be at that project board for the meeting or the decision to stand? Now, you also want to identify the risks and the unknowns that you already know about. Let's get all the worries, all the concerns out of the way early. Let's talk about them. You don't have to fix them in that meeting. You don't have to know all the mitigations. Ideally, you should have come into that meeting with at least 1 or 2 mitigations. If there are unknown unknowns, you talk about them. You don't have to solve every problem in that meeting, but at least let's be clear on what the issues are. Next, and finally, you want to define next steps. You can't leave a kickoff meeting without any next steps. So who does what? If it is, for instance, you thought somebody would be responsible for a particular activity and you're told, no, it's going to be somebody else, then you will take that away and ratify it. Again, another thing that could potentially happen is you come for that kickoff meeting, you think you've invited everyone, and somebody raises that somebody else that should have been here. Then you have to rectify that. Now, what do you need to do after the kickoff meeting? The very first thing you need to do is thank everybody for coming. You've taken your minutes, you've taken your actions. You want to send a summary action sheet after the meeting. If you had any decisions, you want to make sure that you send all the decisions and the actions straight after the meeting so that everybody's on the same page. And then you book your next meeting. Because after that kickoff meeting, you've literally started the project, right? So you will now have your progress review meetings or your checkpoint meetings in place in whatever cadence you have agreed, and you would have your project board or your steering group meetings also in the cadence that you have agreed, and people get going with delivering the project. Now, if you do this, you will see that your project starts off in a calmer and more productive way. We talk about this and many other project management how-tos in our community, the Project Management Blueprint. If you would like to be part of that community, you can come and take a peek for 7 full days for free and see whether you like it there. A few more things that you need to take note of. This last thing is real. So remember, you need to end every kickoff meeting with clarity on who is doing what when. Say it aloud so that everybody hears it. And then within an hour, send out a short written summary of the goal, the scope, the roles, and the next steps. Just a few lines for clarity and documentation. Now, we just dived in to how to run the project, but we didn't talk about how to prepare for the project in the first place. So now, before any project starts, it's important that you do some preparation ahead of time. Well, first thing is that you want to make sure that you send the agenda of the meeting ahead of time, so nobody comes into that meeting surprised as to what we're discussing. Number two, you need to be clear on the objectives and the scope called. Be so confident about what you think the scope and the objectives are. Three, give the sponsor a heads up. Make sure he's clear on what you want to cover so that there are no curveballs and he can back you up subject to whatever questions and scenarios come up during the meeting. Now, let's get into the real meat. A strong kickoff meeting is day one. A strong kickoff is day one of running a project well. And it is exactly where we start in our free 5-day challenge within the project management blueprint community. We get your project set up properly from the very first day, then run it all the way through. It's free to join on trial, so you get a full 7 days to go through all the material, and the link is right below. Come and says, start your next project in a calm way. I'll see you inside. PM besties, if you like this video, please leave a comment below and tell me the next video you'd like me to create. If you're about to run your own kickoff meeting, let me know how it goes after you've taken these steps. I'd like to help you more. Click the subscribe button and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye.